Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawud Daw from GMS Tampa Bay #07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, we got another one of these articles here dealing with basically the downfall and the curses coming upon Esau Edom. Esau Edom, who is known as the so-called white man to you regular everyday Americans, all right? This comes from civileats.com. It says, what is it dated? April 16th, 2018 by Lisa Held. And it says, suicide rates among farmers are alarmingly high. All right. Can federal legislation help? All right. We're not going to really get into they're talking about passing a bill or act or whatever. We're not going to touch on that. We're just going to deal with, looking in the spirit, about the downfall of these Edomites. All right. So, in the title alone, it says suicide rates among, you can take out farmers, and this is basically these Edomites. All right. Suicide rates among Edomites are alarmingly high. All right. It says, let me see. We can read this. It says, in a video posted on YouTube in 2014, Justin McLean gives the camera 2 thumbs up. He skips in a circle holding the hands of fellow members of the Washington Young Farmers Coalition. In a letter posted on Facebook 2017, those peers, now heartbroken, informed their community of McLean's death by suicide, expressing shock and sadness to loss of colleague and a friend at the age of 30. All right. Again, like the other articles was going into, these middle-aged so-called white men. All right. They can't handle the stress of life. All right. Now, that's pretty much what this article is going to go into. They can't bear the burden of just facing reality and hardship and stress. All right. These are weaker people. They're weaker than the Israelites are stronger people than these Edomites. All right. It says Lucia Weiss, coordinator and grain and a grain and pig farmer, said that before McLean died, it was common for farmers in the area to talk about hopelessness, isolation, and burnout among their peers. All right. And really, this is just these farmers that they're talking about, but really all these Edomites is going through the same thing. All right. What they're going to get into is talking about basically the economic downfall of, the farming business, but really all of Esau's little economics and industry and all his shit is falling. So, whether you a banker or whatever you're doing, real estate, whatever you're doing, all that is coming to an end. All right. So y'all all is feeling the same thing. You all suffer from the same stuff where, like I said, this is, there's talking the area about hopelessness. All right. From your future economy and ways things are going, with your women and all kind of different things with feminism and so on and so forth, your, hegemonic, masculinity, your pride and all that stuff. All right. It says hopelessness, isolation, being isolated, by all these other nations calling you out on your wickedness. Is this the man that did weakest the nations, did make the earth to tremble? All right. Thou become as weak as us, and that's the man of sin being revealed. The whole world is pointing you out, and what? You can't handle that. All right. Isolation and burnout among their peers. All right. Burnout, shit. Homeboy is getting burnt out from all this killing he doing. That shit weighing heavy on his ass, man. He gotta cope with the burden. He gotta, reap. You reap what you sow, man. You sowing all this wickedness, man. You gotta reap that. And you just looking at that big ass backpack that you gotta put on full of bricks. You just thinking about how your back hurting just looking at it. Like, I can't even bear that weight. It says, but she added, it just became horribly clear that the most extreme kind of burnout is suicide. It never occurred to us to talk about suicide and mental health explicitly. Now, why is that? Because Esau is in his heaven, in his kingdom. You see what I'm saying? You could be a homeless Edomite and you still ain't really wanting and worried about shit. You know what I'm saying? You can go to sleep anywhere. You can sleep right there by the sign that says no homeless people. All right, ain't nobody, people will mess with you. They're going to be coming by asking if you need money, food, and so on and so forth, But, a Jake, whether he be like a so-called Mexican, who's wearing some so-called shaggy or raggedy clothes, walking to the store to go buy him something to drink. People look at him like he homeless, not even realizing that he owns his own lawn business, and that's what he wear because that's where he, go out to the lawn business. He make more money than you, and he just want to come and spend some money in your establishment to buy him some water. All right. But you looking at him as he a homeless man or whatever, whatnot, when, in reality, you Edomites is really in a hard time now. All right. It says, that's changing now across the country. Over the past year, media reports in Newsweek, the New York Times, and in-depth piece in The Guardian have called attention to the alarming rates of suicide among farmers and farm workers, from grain growers in the Northwest to dairy farmers in the Northeast. As a result, lawmakers are responding with bills aimed at increased access to behavioral health services like counseling, suicide hotlines. All right. And Washington State passed one bill last month, and advocates say other states are working to develop their own laws. Now, again, dealing with this hypocrisy of these Edomites, all right, because they can't handle the pressure, can't handle the heat, can't handle the depression of, because my whole life, my daddy been a farmer, now I'm going to be a farmer, or whatever the fuck you doing, because like I said, this is affecting all industries, not just farming. All right. But this particular article just talking about farming. But nevertheless, you've been doing that your whole life. You don't know how to do nothing else, Damn, I know Edomites like that I work with right now, who this is, where they work at now is like their first and their only job, And I see it sometimes with some of these damn Edomites, and they be like old and shit or whatever, whatnot. That's the only job they ever had. They've been pampered and babied at that job. They can't really go work nowhere else. They only got their job off of somebody else, they homeboy is the son of the owner or something like that, and they just in there like that, but they can't really go nowhere else. So if they happen to lose, hypothetically, like on the farm hand, if that's all and you try to go get a real job, and you got to go work for real wages, like real Jake doing stuff like that, you can't handle that, because now you got to come to the realization, hey, bro, I ain't gonna say you regular like everybody else, because we not regular like you regular ass people, man, according to Deuteronomy 7:6, but in a carnal sense, you gotta just come down like everybody else, man. You're not up on no pedestal. All right. It says, and speaking on the hypocrisy again, they didn't not to say conduct or enact any of these things when Jake was going through these things, when Jake going through depression, oppression, slavery, all kind of different things, having being victims of terrorists, the Ku Klux Klan and all the bombings and all that stuff. Hey, man, Jake was going through horrible times. They didn't know if they was going to wake up with a cross in their yard or if their son was going to make it home safe that night. But they wasn't out there killing themselves and committing suicide. In fact, they was standing up and marching in your face like the men of the Lord is doing today. All right. But these Edomites can't take it. They got to pass laws and have all these different things to pat them on the back and make them feel okay. All right. And, I'm going to actually breed briefly into the little bill that they going into. And they tell you in there, like, yo, this shit's not going to save your business or put no food on your table or no money in your pocket. This is going to be a fucking pat on the back, bro. There's nothing can save you, man. Like, what is that? Hebrews 12 say, talking about no place of repentance was found for him. Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that we could do for you Edomites right now is say, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Hey, just live it up right now, bro. That's the only thing we can do for you. And living it up is not gonna stop or slow down none of this stuff for you. It's just gonna let you be able to enjoy your last little bit of freedom. All right. Same with this law, this little law they're trying to pass to help these farmers out, man. It's not gonna help you monetarily. It's not gonna get you out of your debt. It's not gonna get you to pay your bills. It's not gonna put food on your table and a roof over your head. It's just gonna be a pat on the back, just so you can be like, well. Salakia. It's basically going to be a pat on the back. Be like, well, we know you're going through tough times, but you ain't the only one. String up your bootstraps and get to work, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to tell Jake, if you work hard and you pray, you have a little faith, you know what I'm saying? You might one day can work as a janitor in that building. You know what I mean? That type of shit, man. Hey, man, you just got to deal with it, man. And you Edomites, you can't deal with it because you're not built for that. You're a weaker person. You're a weaker vessel, man. And like nobody else could endure the things that we've done. Like the scriptures say in the book of Daniel, it says, under the whole heaven, none has been done like it's been done unto the children of Israel. All right. Nobody else on the planet Earth could suffer or bear the burdens that we had to bear. All right. And survive that. All right. And we can't even do that. The only reason we did that was Salakia. The only reason we were able to do that was because the Most High said, like, look, I was so pissed, I would have destroyed all you motherfuckers, but you know what I'm saying? I got that covenant with y'all, and at the same time, I ain't want the damn heathen to be able to basically be proud in their own thing. Like, look what our armed and brought us, you know? So he saved the remnant of us, you know? So, you know what I mean? So if it, and again, you know, the only way we able to survive this is we got the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua behind us. These Edomites don't. You see what I'm saying? There's no place of repentance found for them. All right. And so now really, the Most High is actually leaving him right now. All right. You know, the Most High, I ain't gonna say the Most High was with him, you know, Satan was with him, but that was the Most High's gift unto him, you know, that was his power, and he gave him that sword, you know, he blessed him with that sword, that which gave him the dominion over the earth. All right. So, but now that hedge is being brought down from around him, and now he can't cope with none of that. All right. He was all proud and bragging and boasting, saying that he brought himself all this salvation. He brought himself all these riches and gold and glory and shit like that. But really, he coming to realize as that hedge is slowly being lowered from around his ass that, hey, bruh, everybody pissed off at you. It's like you've been poking at the damn lions at the lion cage the whole damn time and pissing their ass off, and they've been starving, and all of a sudden they or the inmates at the prison, you know, and all of a sudden all the cells open up, and your ass is like getting scared as they all coming out cracking their knuckles. Your ass know you grass, all right? But the only thing you could do is be like, well, shit, you ain't the first person to get jumped in prison. You know what I'm saying? Many people get jumped in prison. Some of them survive, some of them don't. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing that this bill can do for you. It's not going to, this bill in that scenario is not going to help you defend yourself against people trying to jump you, put you in your cell and lock the door so can't nobody get to you. Ain't going to call the police to break them up off of you. It's just a pep talk, bruh. Hey, you ain't the first person to get your ass beat in prison. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna be the last person to get your ass beat in prison. Some survive and some don't. You know, you might earn you some stripes right here, you know, but it ain't gonna really do nothing for you as far as what's coming to you. All right. It says, on the national front, Congressman Tom Emmer also introduced the Stemming and Tide of Rural Economic Stress and Suicide Act last month, which would allocate federal funding to build and strengthen national network of farmers supporting services. See, these Edomites are spending money to cope with the post-traumatic stress of whatever the fuck these Edomites is dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to do none of this stuff for Jake. They tell Jake to tie themselves up, pick themselves up by their bootstraps type of shit. You know? Oh, I don't know how. They tell you, they don't know how, you know, some honest so-called Edomites will tell you they don't know how Jake can endure the shit that they endure. From knowing their history and all the shit that they grew up doing and all kind of stuff like that, you know, they tell you that, you know, some of them will be honest with you and tell you that, letting you know that they're a weaker vessel. All right. It says, let's still talking about that bill. It says, experts and advocates say that the legislation is desperately needed and could provide real help. All right. And again, like I said, it's not going to provide real help. They're going to contradict themselves further in this passage. It says, but some affected farmers say little or more than a Band-Aid on a much deeper wound caused by years of policies that have favored consolidation and led to violate markets, devastating price drops, and hollowing out rural communities. All right, so now, who is the Edomites to blame for this? Oh, you're talking about the politicians and the policies. Who writes all that? Who are these politicians? Oh, the Edomites. All right, now when Edomites is feeling the heat like this, what do they say? Oh, the shadow government. Oh, Barack Obama or Donald Trump. Whoever it is, these right-wingers, these left-wingers, these conservatives, these liberals, whatever the fuck, they'll blame, you know, they'll say it like that, but they don't want to come to terms. It's you Edomites that's doing this to yourself. And everybody else like, yo, we don't want to hear this shit. This is the same shit you've been doing to us and everybody else on the planet Earth, and way worse for, like, as long as we can remember. Now this shit is starting to slightly happen to you, bro. Don't be mad about that shit, bro. We don't give a damn. You see what I'm saying? It says, the scope of the problem. When reporting the scope of the problem, most rely on data from the 2012 Centers of Disease Control that breaks down the U.S. suicide rate by occupation. People working in farming, fishing, and forestry had the highest rates compared to all other industries at 84.5 per 100,000. The number is more than 5 times the national rate and is comparable to high suicide rates among the military veterans. All right, so they're using a little slick tongue here, but really these Edomites, and just basically these Edomites, for one, suicide rate is higher than everybody else's suicide rate. All right, but then specifically in these areas, also their suicide rate is up higher. All right, But nevertheless, like I said, in all these areas, because they own all of these different things, all right? And now going back up, because, going back up just a little bit, it says, where was it at? Right here. It says, but some affected farmers say that little or more that a Band-Aid is on a much deeper wound caused by years of policies that have favored consolidation. All right, the consolidation they talking about, again, these are these Edomites doing these different things. You bring up and make up these big ass corporations that buy out the little small mom and pops, you know what I'm saying? Or, you normally do this shit to Jake. Jake will come up with some kind of little, whatever they come up with. Maybe they got a little trick or a trade they do. Maybe, a Jake woman can sew and start making, shirts or whatever, pants or whatever. You'll go over there, figure out how she do this, or baking cakes and whatever, find out her recipe, and then you make it into a big, big, large company or whatever, But then you cut out the person who was originating that, making their own little deal, But now at the end of the day, y'all was all happy about owning these big ass companies, but now they all going away. You consolidating all these things, you shutting them down, and your policies is making it harder for tax breaks and so on and so forth, and trade and all these things. But again, it's you Edomites that's consolidating these companies, taking over these companies, and also writing the policy. So you destroying yourself with your own wickedness, all right? It says, while more recent data doesn't exist, farmers and advocates point to, I'm not sure what that word is, anecdotal evidence that suggests suicidal rates among farmers have been rising. Last spring, National Farmers Union launched an online resource called the Farmers Crisis Center, because we really started hearing from a lot of our members that there are real growing problems, and there are a lot of farmers in crisis, said Matt Purdue, NFU government relations representative. All right, and again, they just only talking about these farmers and the people in basically agriculture, all right, business ag, all right. But again, this is happening to all these Edomites, and a lot of these Edomites have so much pride that they're not even going to sit there and try to so-called call for help. So these numbers aren't really accurately portrayed. If you was to graph, the type of Edomites that's depressed about this type of shit and got this on their mind. It says, Andrew Barenberg, National Policy Director at the National Young Farmer Coalition, agreed hotlines, farmers, advocates, they're all saying this is getting worse. There's an increased demand for these services, and we need more and more resources. So what they saying, like, yo, we had a suicide hotline, more or less, to say, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't know it was a problem at first, but we heard a couple stories. So we had a suicide hotline thing, maybe 3 or 4 people might call a year. But really, they was booming, They had to have people on hold and get 4 or 5 lines, Now they got 4 or 5 different companies, and then they got to keep multiplying and multiplying. They can't keep up with it, It says, while risk factors for farmers include isolation in rural areas, lack of control, lack of access to behavioral health services, most farmers, hold on, let me stop there, access to behavioral health services. So let's think about Jake. When Jake was growing up without their fathers in the household, and a path to destruction, whether it be jail, selling drugs, or death, you know what I'm saying, how a young Jake boy would grow up. He don't really have no bright economic future ahead of his life, Jake male or female. Maybe a female if she marry a Edomite or some shit like that. But nevertheless, the Jake males ain't got no hope for him coming into the future, But where was the governmental programs that was put in place to help mend the minds of the Jake boys, or the children of Israel? All right, when we was growing up, seeing our despair and all these different things that was affecting us, there wasn't nothing like that. We had to just sit there and just come to grasp with, hey man, we got to do what we got to do to survive, man. All right. It says, most farmers and advocates point to the extreme financial stressors as the main cause of the problem. Salakia. Again, dealing with the financial stress, man. Esau can't take losing a dollar or a penny, man. I used to always like to say this in the world, man. You can go kill a so-called white man, his family, and all this is not hell. He might even help you kill his kids, his wife, and his mom, and all that shit, man, and take pleasure in it. You can't do nothing to hurt a so-called Edomite except for if you take a penny from him, that'll hurt his feelings. That'll hurt him down to his core. You take some money from him. All right, nothing else will hurt a white man. so-called white man, but you take some money from him because that's all he like to worship that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's all paper and nothing anyway. But nevertheless, here it's saying, it says advocates point to extreme financial stressors as the main cause of the problem. So again, it's not really just touching on this farming or business agriculture. It's in any kind of way where Edomites got anything to do with money. All right, and that's in all businesses aspects. All these Edomites. It says corn and soy production is high, meaning prices are low. And, you know, that's touching on Monsanto's and these GMOs and all these different things. See, the product Esau's heart and his craftiness then fucked his ass up. He didn't got caught in his own snare. All right, yeah, we're going to create GMOs to make more money off of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we greedy. But yet you shutting down your own natural farmers and stuff like that. Now you got all these Edomites committing suicide. Now you got less people to reproduce. Now you less in numbers. Now you a minority, stupid ass. You see what I'm saying? You doing all this death and destruction to everybody else, but now it's coming back to bite you in the ass. All right. It says, an overall net farm income has decreased 50% for the U.S. farmers in 2013, or since 2013, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture predicts it will drop further to a negative 1,316 in 2018. All right. But nevertheless, they saying that, you know, their net income has decreased 50%. So they bring in half of what they used to bring in, you know? How depressing would that be? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's think about Jake, man. You working at McDonald's, making whatever wages you making. Imagine if your wages was cut in half. Okay, imagine if you made it up from McDonald's to working at one of these corporate buildings, making, you know, $50,000-$60,000 a year, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You living decent. You living pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden you got to go back to working at McDonald's. All right, now your baby can't be going to, you know, whatever type of lifestyle that shit could buy you. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to change your whole lifestyle up. You're going to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But Esau being born with everything given to him, the whole world, with a golden spoon in his mouth, he can't handle losing a penny. All right? It says, you know, shit, the middle class, the so-called middle class, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans pretty much just lost everything under Barack Obama. All right? And then from the 1920s, we had a lot of stuff like Rosewood and Black Wall Street, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and other places like that. We lost major places and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But yet we still here thriving today. We just go on and rebuild, you know? Y'all do this all day, every day to us. But hey, look at y'all, you know? You see dope boys and shit like that get raided by the police. Now this ain't promoting none of this shit. You know, it's all wicked. But nevertheless, you see dope boys get raided by the police for pounds on end, due time, get right back out and keep on going. You see what I'm saying? It don't really... Again, it ain't righteous. It's pure wickedness. But hey, they be like, bro, I mean, yeah, you took my money, you knocked me out, but I'm gonna get back on my grind. That's what they mindset is. Like, bro, when I get back on, bro, I'm getting back on. You Edomites, you trip and you stumble one little time, and you like, oh, I gotta end it all, you know. Or our third quarter losses or horrible this quarter, you know what I'm saying? And oh, we gotta commit suicide, you know. It says a looming trade war is already affecting farmers in Middle America. The price of milk, which is set by the federal government, again, which is these Edomites trying to control every damn thing. Hey, who you pissing off and fucking up? Hey, again, like I was bringing out in one of the other articles, man, Jake don't know what poverty is. We can't define the word poverty. We can't define the word depression or recession. None of that shit affects us. We not applicable to no shit like that, all right? That shit don't affect us. Here's a prime example. It says, a looming trade war already affects farmers in Middle America. The price of milk, which is set by the federal government, has dropped so low that dairy farmers are being paid significantly less for their milk than it costs it to produce. All right, we not on that side of the field, bro. We going to the store to buy milk. We not the ones selling the milk to the store. We ain't in that position. Now, you might have a handful of jakes that do. We ain't talking about them, all right? We talking about the majority of us in the masses, generally speaking, all right? We ain't in no position like that. So yeah, the milk prices is more or less how do they say it's going down. Yeah, the prices of milk that they're buying it for, that you able to sell your milk for, is so low now. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't affect us. We don't give a fuck about how much you going get paid to sell your milk to these people for, because we don't got no milk to sell, motherfucker. We in the business to buy milk, not sell it. We never been in a position to sell it, so therefore we can't be affected by that so-called decrease of price in the milk. All right, that shit don't bother us. All right. Brenda Cochran and her husband have been milking cows since '75 in Maryland and Pennsylvania, and now operate a dairy farm in northern Pennsylvania. On their last delivery, they were paid $14.39 per hundredweight, which means they lost about $7 per hundredweight. She said fully one third of their production costs. Cochran, who now when you graph this and do a analysis of business, hey, they going out of business fast. All right, they lost, what did it say, $7 right here first. Hey, if they lose another $7, you know what I'm saying? That's half of their shit. You know what I'm saying? They only got one more 7 after that to lose before you only getting paid 39 cents. And as they see this trend going, they already know, like, bro, we going out of business quick. All right, it's like you working at a damn at a grocery store, and this is your saving grace, your bread and your butter, right? To get all your bills paid, and you confident that store gonna be there. And you always restocking the shelf, and now you starting to realize the trucks don't come no more. All right, y'all ain't restocking the shelf, and y'all selling out the last little items, and you down to one item left. You be like, yo, we ain't restocking the last item here. I might not have a job tomorrow. That's what these Edomites is realizing around with everything else as they start to chart their incomes and everything else like that. They whole how would I say, if you was to judge their whole overall well-being here in America, all right, from everything they got. It says Cochran lists 3 deaths by suicide she heard about in her community since February. An Amish farmer, a farmer who led a leadership position in the dairy association, and agribusinessman who was carrying debilitating debt. We can't solve this problem on our own because everyone is depressed. Everyone is broke, she said, and I understand why farmers are committing suicide. It's been going on for so long. You're talking to a depressed farmer right now. All right. So let me reiterate what she said. We can't solve this problem. Let me go back up one line. She says, an agribusinessman who's carrying debilitating debt. So all these people are all affected by this. They all carrying debt, and how they feeling. She says, we can't solve this problem, meaning there's no way out on our own because everyone is depressed. Who is there to help you, Edomites? First of all, none of the heathens is going to help you because you've been fucking them over, and the Israelites damn sure ain't finna help you. All right, because of what you did to us. All right, so the only people left is you Edomites to help your damn self. But what? It says, we can't solve this problem on our own. We can't solve it ourselves. Why? Because everybody's depressed. All right, you be like, damn, I'm going through hard times. So, me too, motherfucker. I'm going through hard times too, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. It says, she said, I understand why farmers are committing suicide. All right, so now they have a little saying, like, first it's denial and so on and so forth. Then it's acceptance, and then you basically, you rationalize it. Then you agree to it. It's one of those little things like that to where you basically going down one of these trends. She's like, well, shit, I can see why they doing it. Next, you're going to be reading an article about that this bitch is doing it. You know what I'm saying? At first, she's like, I don't understand why they're doing it. Now she's starting to feel what they was feeling. Now she's like, well, now I can see why they doing it. Now she into the actual financial straits that they is actually in right when they committed suicide. Now she's like, fuck, the only way out is doing what he did. Or just dealing with distress. And I can't deal with distress. All right? It says, we can't solve this problem on our own because everyone is depressed and everyone is broken, she said. I understand why farmers are committing suicide. It's been going on for so long. You're talking to a depressed farmer right now. Like I said, she one more step before committing suicide, all right? And I'm going to read this here first little paragraph, and we're going to just end it here. But I'm letting you know, like I said, that Band-Aid, this ain't nothing but a pat on the back. All right, it's like, again, being in prison, knowing you about to get the whole prison turned up on your ass to jump your ass, and they just, the only thing they can do to help you out is like, listen, you ain't the first one, you ain't the last one. Some live and some die. Hey, man, you got to take it like a man. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what they telling them. It says, what does the Stress Act do? The proposed federal act wouldn't improve the markets for farmers or help them stay in business. All right, so it's not going to help them put no food on their table, keep the roof over their head, or make them no money. All right, it ain't going to do nothing for them to actually solve the problem that they got. It's like me having a flat tire and you coming out, AAA come out like, look, we can, we can let you use a cell phone. We can let you sit in our car in the warmth. We can give you some bubble gum. We can give you some water. But you got a flat tire and we ain't got shit to do with tires. We can't help you there. But if you want this here water, we can give you some water to drink. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Make you feel a little better about yourself. Or you can sit in my truck and listen to the radio, but I ain't got no tire for you. I can't help you there. That's your problem, but I can't help you there. But I can let you sit in my truck if it make you feel better. But it's not going to fix your tire. All right? It says the proposed federal act wouldn't improve the markets for farmers or help them stay in business, but it will help provide behavioral health services that may help some people weather the hard times just to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, we ain't got nothing to actually help you with the problem. But we got some people to go over here and tell you it's going to be okay. Pat you on the back. Tell you that if you pull yourself up by the bootstraps, you'll be all right. All right? Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth with sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.